Again at the SOS show 2020. I realised this morning this is my 21st show at the SOS. Got my membership badge with my gold medallion on there now to show long service, and yeah, just everyone's still just coming into the hall, setting up, unveiling their tables, so I'm just going to go off now and see what I can find. Good morning, and it's Friday here at the show. Standing here, my table, I've got books for sale here. All the military mode books you see there. So my deal that I have is that I have books stored out here in the US, and a friend of mine brings them to the show for me. So I don't have to transport them overseas, and I keep the books out here, sell them at the show. And then spend the rest of my time going around trying to buy stuff, and so far it's not been that great. Prices, just like, I know I said this when I was at the Mac show a few months ago, prices are incredible. If you walk around the show, and first of all you struggle to find something of quality nowadays, and when you do find something of quality, the price is incredible. It's like double what it would be in the UK. But you know, if you have that item which is hard to find, then they have every right to charge those kind of prices. This is my 21st show, as I probably said, and I remember coming here, and like every third table would have a Paratrooper helmet. You'd find SS daggers everywhere, and it's just all dried up. It's just so hard to find the quality stuff anymore. So, but I mean, I have found some good bits which I will feature when I get back to my hotel room later. It's just, you know, I like to keep a daily report, let you know how the show's going, show you some footage of the show. Again, as you can see by the tables behind me, everyone's still just arriving and unpacking their stuff. So I'll check in later with you to feature some of the interesting things that I bought here so far. Right, I've come back to the room early today so I can do a quick presentation of stuff that I've bought here at the show. Like I previously said, nothing's amazing has jumped out. Usually when we come to the US, we find one or two things which, you know, make the show, and we get them real cheap, and the profit we can make from those one or two items can pay for the whole trip. So far, we've found really nice things, but nothing that's going to pay for our whole trip. You know, nevertheless, I want to show you these pieces because some of the pieces I bought have a really interesting history and are extremely hard to find. So it's quite difficult to film it when I'm here on my own. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk you through some of the pieces that I've bought and show you some close-up pictures so you can get an idea of what's going to be coming on the website soon. So the first thing I wanted to show you guys is this very rare police knife. Now, it's an Italian police dagger. It's the colonial police, and I need to talk you through briefly a brief history about what these were and what this one actually is. So here we have a photograph album with lots of pictures inside, a full history of who it belonged to, and also, as you can see behind the dagger there's a magazine article. So what this was, during World War II, as you know, the SS were merged with the police around, I think, 1942. And they made a decision to form a form of colonial police for the Germans, just like the Italians had, because a lot of people do already know that the Italians had colonial police units. And they formed a school to train the Germans into being colonial police. And so this album belonged to an SS guy who signed up to join the colonial police, and at the end of their training they were presented with this special presentation dagger, which was signed on the blade. It was presented to them by General Maraffa, who was the commander of the Italian police, the Italian colonial police. And in the album, what's great is you can see loads of photographs of the men marching with their SS swords. And the quality of this dagger is unbelievable. You can see the workmanship that's gone into it. And what happened was a well-known authority on Italian daggers wrote an article for a magazine called Military Advisor. And this actual dagger is featured in the magazine, which makes it even more special. And this was probably one of the most interesting pieces that I've bought here at the show. And I do actually have someone coming back to the stall tomorrow to meet me where I bought it, because he wants to buy it from me. So it might not even make the website. So great that I've got this opportunity to feature images of it here on the video. Right, so I've just got back from the gym and I realised I've just gone straight back into the old format of presenting what I bought at the show, and it's exactly the complete opposite of what I want to do. I also realised that I was talking absolute gibberish when I was trying to explain to you what this dagger was, and what I thought I'd do was trying to keep it, you know, the feeling of the video quite informal. I'd ask the old timer to explain to you exactly what it is, because he could do a job a lot better than me. So I'm going to pass you over to him so he can explain to me while you watch what it actually is.
Okay. Back in about 1939-40, when the Italian colonial police were being very successful in subduing the natives and administering the Italian colonies, the Germans noticed this, and Himmler decided that they were going to create their own colonial police force, similar to the Italians. And they sent a cadre of about 40 officers down to the Italian Colonial Police Training School at Tivoli, south of Rome. In all, over about 18 months, 400 all SS and SD men qualified through this school. And at the end of their qualification, they were each handed an Italian colonial police dagger, but presented by and signed on the blade by the commander of the Italian colonial police, General Maraffa. some of you may be familiar with the Italian colonial police dagger, but believe me, this is far above the normal one in quality. Ebony grip, beautifully gilded, intertwined rings top and bottom, House of Savoy crest there, and also the fascist symbol on the back. It's a beautiful piece. In the end, the colonial police from Germany were not put into action because, as we all know, by 1943 the war in North Africa was over. Nevertheless, it is generally believed that no more than 400 of these daggers were ever presented, thus making it extremely rare. And with this one, we've not only got the dagger, but we've got the SS officers photograph album here. There's wonderful photographs in it of SS officers parading with their SS swords and various uniforms, and pictures of the SS officers wearing their colonial police dagger, such as this.
Okay, so as you just saw, the old timer can explain things in detail in a lot more, a presentable way than I can. So what I want you to do is make some comments at the of the video at the bottom, just on whether you want to see more from the old timer, because he has a wealth of like 50 years worth of knowledge. And if you guys need or want to know more, I can use him in the videos to help explain things to you. So what we're trying to say to you in this video is that we're not trying to sell the dagger to you, because it's probably going to sell tomorrow at the show. This is used to give you some information. And what we ascertained is that although this is Italian, which is less desirable usually than German, it's 100 times rarer than any SS dagger. So that's the message we're trying to get across to you. So it's the last day of the show, Saturday here, and I just bought the most amazing time capsule piece. It's a German First World War steel helmet brought back by an American soldier. So I managed to pick up the American soldier's whole uniform, and then the bring back helmet, which is in a wooden box, all labelled back to his address here in the US, and the newspaper used to protect the helmet inside the box is all dated 1918. A really interesting piece, which I'll show you when I get a chance to actually get it out properly and have a look at it for the video. Also, another thing that was quite good today, I was asked to be interviewed for Forbes magazine. They were doing an article all about social media influencers for history. So people that use social media to try and get the message across to younger people, all about the history of the militaria and all things like that. So that's quite good. Nice bit of exposure. So let's. Today is bargain day. Find a lot of people come down in price on the Saturday. So I'll be hunting around tables, making offers on some of the items that were a bit too expensive at the beginning of the show. So here we are again. The final day of the show is over. As I thought might happen, the colonial police dagger did sell today at the show to the person I was meeting. So I'm really glad that we managed to show that in the video previously. So you got to see what that actually was. And I knew it was a rare thing. And I also mentioned that sometimes we come here and we have one item which makes the trip or pays for the trip. And just to give you guys an idea of how we got on, we paid $3,000 for the dagger, and we managed to sell it for $5,500. So we made $2,500 on that one piece, which will go a very long way to paying lots of the expenses for this trip. So that was our deal that made the trip very worthwhile. So yeah, I just want to run through some of the bits here on the bed which I bought. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see them in detail. I mentioned that I bought one of my favourite things I bought was the Imperial German steel helmet in its post-home box. So let me just show you some of these pieces up close in detail. So this is the post-home helmet, and I've taken it out of the box. Pretty plain M16, or M17. But what's great about it is this box. Now this is all the labels on the box, fantastic. And then when you look inside it, there's some script there on the outside of the box as well. And inside, all of the newspaper is the American newspaper called Stars and Stripes. But this was issued in France, and it's all dated 1918. So it's the French version of Stars and Stripes, 1918 dated, and that's the original paper that was in it when it was sent home. What a fantastic time capsule that is. Absolutely brilliant. And those labels again on the front is what make it brilliant. Brilliant thing. This is the tunic that came with it. There was tunic, trousers and a hat there in the pocket. They're not so special, but it's just nice to identify that he was the soldier that brought them back. And then I also mentioned that you never seem to find paratrooper helmets in America anymore. And funny enough, I managed to find this very nice single decal para, very sleepy. The inside is a little worse for wear, but you know, you can see it's original, 100% original for sure. Now this is a rare badge. This is the War Wounded badge for the SA, similar to the Wound badge, but this was only issued to SA members. A very rare badge. I've not had another one of these in many, many years, so that was a good piece. American experimental helmets. Now, I featured some of these before. During the First World War, the Americans were experimenting with different types of helmets, and they issued, I think originally about 20, and they were all numbered to identify them. And the one there with the visor is known as, amongst collectors, as the number 8. Whereas as this one here, I think is known as the number 2, or collectors call it the Deep Salad. And they're really rare pieces. Again, another item which American shows you used to see 3, 4, 5 of these every single time. And now I managed to find these on the very last day and had to really negotiate the prices down because the prices were so high. Bought this as well. This is a rare piece of kit. It's First World War Canadian, similar to the 14 pattern, but I think this is very early dated. It's got nice markings on it. I have to investigate it more, but that is the Canadian equipment for the First World War. And another experimental helmet I bought, I featured one of these in a video a few weeks ago. This is the British Second World War cruise visor used by the expeditionary forces at Dunkirk. And I managed to sell that other one I had very, very quickly. This one is already pre-sold as well, but a great chance to feature it on the video. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to mention in this video before I finish this clip is that I wanted to remind you that this channel is for the collectors. Now, I had so many people come up to me at the show congratulating me on the channel and wanting to meet me and talk to me. Most of them were younger guys, which is brilliant because it shows there's so many young people coming into the hobby. But what I wanted to express to you was that this channel is for you. It's not for me to promote myself. It's for you to learn. So if there's any more subjects that you want to learn about, or there's something that you want me to do to help you guys learn things, let me know. Because I was walking around the show, filming at the show and thinking, you know, this channel is brilliant for the people that can't get here to the show to be able to be there virtually and see it as best they can without having to do all the traveling to get to the show. So if there's anything that you want for your channel, then you have to let me know, and I'll do my best to try and get that across for you on the videos. So other exciting news, I've just found out that I'm going to see a collection tomorrow, just after the show, and the collector specialised in buying items from veterans and keeping the groups together. So I'm really excited about seeing that, and hopefully I'll get to shoot some footage there so you can also see one of the world's most amazing collections. So time to sign off from my trip to here at the SOS, and what you just saw in those clips was one of the most amazing collections that I've ever been to. And what's fascinating about that collection is that it's all compiled over the last 40 years, and nearly 99% of it has come straight from veterans. So you probably noticed in the clips that the SS caps, some of them didn't have eagles on. This collector, if you big truck going past, never worked with animals, children or trucks. So you notice that there's SS caps with no eagles. Now this collector, if he got it from a veteran with no eagle on it, he wouldn't add the eagle to it, he just left it as it was. The amount of Japanese swords that were there, uniforms with the pictures of veterans bringing it back, it was absolutely amazing. The amount of guns and helmets. But what I liked most, and you probably spotted in the video, was the Indian headdress with the German insignia on the front. Now that would have been worn by the Free India troops that fought in Africa with the Africa Corps. One of the rarest things I've ever seen. It was fascinating and really, really great to see such things you never see anywhere at shows or on websites. So I hope you've enjoyed the visuals from that clip. Good chance for you guys to see some amazing stuff. Time for me to go now. I've got to get to the airport. Hopefully we'll update the website next week. So keep watching the channel, like the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And thanks for watching.